now is the London-based Cuban blogger Mario López Goicochea. Fidel Castro, first of all, what will Cubans read into his reappearance in this way?
Well, I think, it's my opinion, I think that probably my compatriots as well, is that it's a powerful PR move to eclipse the release of these political prisoners. I mean, the timing, if you look at the timing of him appearing first last Wednesday, he came, publicly for the first time since 2006. Then the news was actually released over the weekend at the same time as the political prisoners were released. And then last night, he turned up at this round table. You know, I think it's all aimed at overshadowing the fact that 52 political prisoners have been freed, 17 of which will be making the way, I think, probably towards Spain, and 5 of which are already on flights to the Iberian country. Yeah, what I think that we can read, I mean, if I was in Cuba, I think that people will not so much pay attention to the fact that Fidel has appeared in public again, but to the fact that we have finally admitted as a country that we actually have political prisoners. Yeah, so
Fidel Castro didn't talk about political prisoners in his round table discussion on Cuban television. But what you're suggesting is that this is somehow a sleight of hand by the communist authorities to release prisoners on the one hand, but to try to deflect attention by putting the old leader Fidel back up on TV.
It is, and I don't think that he has actually been in full agreement with some of the measures taken by his brother. And it's been, to me personally, it's been almost like a surprise to see Raúl Benton bringing so many measures, especially when he took power, bringing so many measures towards reforming the economy, for example. But I think that Fidel wants to have the final say.
So things are shifting in Cuba. Let's hear from Jorge Oliveira Castillo, who's a Cuban independent journalist and a former political prisoner himself who still lives in Cuba. Why does he think the government has decided to free 52 prisoners but arrange for some of them to leave the country?
I think they have done this because they couldn't risk the prisoners returning to their homes and their neighborhoods with descriptions of their incarceration, of the conditions there, and the mental pain it has caused them and their families. Within Cuba, nothing is being said in the media about these releases, and it shows that this doesn't represent a real change in Cuba's political strategy. Because after all, there has been no change in the penal code or in the laws which lead to a jail term for the way people think or for their political beliefs. And therefore, this does not really mean an end to political prisoners.
Well, Mario López Goicochea in the studio with us. How accurately do you think that point of view reflects the wider opinion in Cuba, that although there may be some political prisoners being released, underlying that, nothing much has changed?
He is right. I mean, nothing much has changed. I think there's the hope that with Raúl coming to power, new face, probably new attitude, that things should be different by now. Not much has changed. I don't think that much will change anyway. I mean, but even Raúl is getting on a bit as well.
Isn't there always the economic time bomb ticking away, and the Cubans realise that they need to be more open to the rest of the world in terms of trade and tourism, and to do that, they're going to have to change the human rights record?
Yes, and I think that when you talk about Cuba, you have two problems. One is the embargo, the US's embargo, which is real, is actual, and then is the self-inflicted embargo that we've got by the Cuban government. And until they both finish, we won't be able to move forward.
Okay, well, we'll see if things are really changing inside Cuba. Mario López Goicochea.